Hey!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Thank you all so much for stopping by. Joshua M 2800, thank you so much for the $5 donation, and let me reassure you and everyone watching, I am not a Boruto fan! Do you think I would ever rep this mongrel? Oh, come on now, you guys should know me at this point. You're putting me in a very tight situation here, asking me to do Othinus and Void Shiki. It's been a while since we last talked about Othinus, and there was really never a reason to talk about her, not at least until now. First and foremost, we all know that magic gods are capable of creating, manipulating, and destroying all dimensions on a whim. These beings can manipulate and destroy all phases along with their infinite possibilities. To put it in layman's terms, she can basically just warp reality and destroy infinite dimensions or infinite worlds or phases, whatever you want to call it. It's also important to note that when Othinus was fighting Toma, it was stated that she did in fact destroy infinite phases. Just something I want to add, because there are a lot of people who actually doubt Othinus did in fact kill and destroy and create infinite phases when she fought Toma back in NT9. While we are on the topic of being able to create, destroy infinite phases on a whim with the help of Gungnir, of course making her ability 100% possible, there are a couple more things that I would like to talk about when it comes to Othinus this time around. While Othinus was fighting Toma, she was demonstrated to control and manipulate time. Now, before I go a little bit further, I know I've said a lot of these scans already, but due to the fact that I have not talked about Othinus for a very long time, I think over a year at this point, I need to refresh your guys' memory, because I'm not gonna lie, I kinda almost forgot too, because I don't talk about Toaru that much anymore. There's just nothing to talk about. I mean, GT12 just came out, but not everything's translated, and Alistair is supposed to fight Accelerator according to leaks, and I don't know, there's a lot going on right now. Anyways, like I was saying before, while Othinus was fighting against Toma, she was demonstrated to control and manipulate time. To her, the standard concepts of time and space no longer had any meaning. There is nothing that she cannot control. From throwing galaxies to destroying infinite multiverses to breaking bonds between particles and essentially erasing anything from reality, this demonstrates the level of power that Othinus has. Othinus' weapon is a very unique weapon, giving her insane abilities and characteristics. The first characteristic is that the lance was made to be thrown. The second characteristic is that once the lance is thrown, it will always hit the target. The third characteristic is that the lance can't be shot down or destroyed mid-flight. The fourth characteristic is that the lance will always return to the wielder's hand after piercing the target. The fifth characteristic is that the lance is able to destroy the symbols of human power. Basically, this essentially means that no human can stand up to a god. There's like a whole entire section about this in NT9, but honestly, it's kind of irrelevant to her power. It's just something else added for like more knowledge, I guess is what you want to call it, I guess. Not important to her or the powers, but just more like more knowledge. Aside from Gungnir being her weapon, she also has the crossbow. The crossbow she has is capable of firing 9 shots in total. Well, 9 different shots. Infinite shots, but 9 different types of shots. Out of the 9 shots that she has, or the 9 shot abilities that she has, there's only 2 that I want to talk about. The first one is the 8th shot. The 8th shot overcomes the restrictions of the 3rd dimension. Now, this is a very complicated scan to break down. Saying an attack that is not bound by the restrictions of the 3rd dimensional world is pretty vague and can lead to many outcomes. But for this, I think it just suggests that her attacks are not bound by the 3rd dimensional standards and can bypass any defenses that are related to being 3-dimensional. But let me know what you guys think. Again, I know even though I've talked about this many times before, I think it's just an attack that can just ignore anything that's got a 3-dimensional base structure or a 3-dimensional defense. That's my take on it, but let me know what you think. The next shot is the 9th shot. The 9th shot ignores the concept of numbers. Now, I've talked a little bit about this before, but not into depth, but this time it's going to be a little bit different. What does it mean to ignore the concept of numbers? Well, think of it like this. Numbers are in everything. This ranges from quantities to measurements to logic to defense to dimensions and many more. Those are just some examples that have a numerical value to them, or something that has numbers that reside with them. The statement of her being able to ignore the concept of numbers implies that your defense does not matter no matter how strong it is. Probabilities don't matter, and moreover, power levels, durability, damage formulas, time, basically anything that's quantifiable becomes meaningless. Her attacks are not infinite in power, but more so over that the attack power itself is irrelevant. Confusing, but at the same time kind of makes sense. Basically what I'm trying to say is that her attacks bypass logic, math, physics, ratios, probabilities, and much more. Her attack cannot be blocked if there is anything related to a quantifiable mechanical structure or system. But let me explain what that means. mean. But what is a quantifiable mechanic? A quantifiable mechanic refers to the study of motion and forces using numerical values and equations, rather than qualitative descriptions. It's the application of mathematics to understand and predict the behavior of physical systems, especially at the atomic level where quantum mechanics takes precedence. Now, I just copied that right off Google. I ain't gonna lie, obviously you saw it for yourself and you can look it up yourself, but that kind of just basically sums up everything about an attack that ignores the concepts of numbers. Other random abilities that Othinus has is that she can ignore the wishes of other people with Gungnir. She does in fact have telekinesis, as she crushed Kakane into the size of a volleyball. She holds an affinity for birds, exemplified by her use of ravens, familiars that were used for reconnaissance. Her ability to transform into a hawk to observe the lower worlds, and taming a hawk even while weakened as a fairy was quite something to read, but nothing on the level of like reality warping. Othinus can create a human from spit! Bet you never saw that one coming, did ya? She has power mimicry, as she copied Olaris's fairy spell immediately after witnessing it for the first time. Othinus can bring back the dead, that's not news to anybody, but lastly, something she has that I don't think I've ever talked about before was, well, she has a spell made for teleportation, like a teleportation-like movement. It works by first moving the planet beneath Othinus to put her in the right position, and then moving all celestial bodies in the universe to fit that new positioning of the planet, so that their position relative to each other didn't change whatsoever. Kind of confusing, but it's just teleportation, just in a very more complex way than it needs to be. Ah yes, Void Shiki. Honestly, Void Shiki is one of the coolest servants in the whole entire Fate franchise. I mean, that's only because the same voice actor who voices her also voice acts Jeanne d'Arc Alter. That person is Maya Sakamoto, and my god is she talented. Damn, she's so beautiful. Void Shiki honestly has the best eyes in all of anime. There is no other eye ability in fiction that is stronger than the mystic eyes of death perception. If there is, you're lying to yourself, or I haven't heard of it. Chances are, you're lying to yourself. All things in their becoming within the godhead contain the concept of death. The mystic eyes are capable of perceiving this information. As a result, everything, every object of reality that begins and exists in fundamentally imperfect status is capable of death. The notion of whether or not something that exists is alive, quote unquote, is of no significance to the eyes of death, as whatever can move and thus change can be killed. I mean, killed archetype birth, a being without a concept of death, so there's that. She can kill mystical abilities like bounded fields, and even psychic abilities, which Fujino's capacity to twist objects of reality. Not only that, but she can even cut will and time itself. Shiki can rewrite the laws of countless universes of human order, and even rewrite those laws of physics across them to suit the needs of humanity. Heroic spirits and counter guardians are rooted in the collective unconsciousness, existing as information in the throne of heroes itself, which is considered an extension of human history, which is an extension of human order or the collective unconscious itself. Anything that comes into contact with the godhead returns to primordial nothingness. Simply put, she has existence erasure. And if you didn't already catch on by now, godhead in this term refers to the swirl of the root. That's what gives her all of her really broken ass abilities. She can control and manipulate causality. The vortex of origin is where everything is prepared, and therefore where nothing exists, and all causes flow from with it. Shiki has transduality, and Begot, who is the supreme ultimate and of all divisions, derived from its empty boundaries. I'm not going to go through every single one of her abilities, and I'll tell you why right now. First and foremost, I need to give a huge shout out to my homie Lewis. Lewis is the master when it comes to anything Nasu related. He is the guy I go to get a majority of my Nasu scans and information. I love Nasu, don't get me wrong, and I don't know everything about the series, unfortunately. I know it's really hard for me to admit that, but unlike some Dragon Ball fanboys, you know, some One Punch Man fanboys, or any other stupid fan base, I can admit when I don't know something. At least not yet. Void Shiki is more powerful than you could ever imagine. First and foremost, she can use every ability and every hack in the whole Nasu verse. Void Shiki is the swirl of the root, where a part and a whole are the same. And because of this, she can do virtually anything she wants, whenever she wants. Everything in the verse came from the root, and being tied to it, and the root being something wholly beyond boundaries, it's capable to create anything. The root itself made the verse, everything in it, without exception, from Arcuade to the Crimson Moon, to BB, to True Magic, to literally everything. And due to her connection to it, she can do basically whatever she wants, as shown her being the swirl itself. There is literally nothing that she cannot do. She has every hacks in the whole entire Nasu verse. She has every ability in the whole entire Nasu verse. Void Shiki is so strong, people just cannot comprehend her power and her abilities. Fate, Toaru, I love both series. They are both genuinely my favorite series to ever exist. But did you guys really think I would have have Riptoaru win this video, did you really think I would say Othinus beats Void Shiki? Void Shiki slams the verse with the flick of her left boob, man. Riptoaru is strong, but not even close to Nasu. I don't need to talk about the scaling regarding Nasu because, I mean, it just massively outscales. There's no debate, not even comparable. If you really want to know more about the Nasu verse scaling, go watch my other video as it explains everything. If you have a question and you're too lazy to watch a 35-minute video, leave a comment down below and I will not answer it because I made a 35-minute video for this exact purpose. Othinus is awesome and I love her as a character, but yeah, she doesn't hold a candle to Void Shiki. Like over the years of making these videos, I've become less biased. I know it's funny to say, right? But I'm just not biased anymore as much as I used to be. Like, I mean, I can admit Marvel and DC are outer. I mean, Dragon Ball outer, sure, maybe, I don't know. But at the end of the day, scaling is all subjective, but what really comes down to it are the hacks one character possesses. Like, you could say a rock scales to Altiversal because it transcends infinite dimensions that's upon a hierarchy that's above space and time or whatever, right? But like, you can lie about that and there could be no proof but like out of context scans. But with hacks, they're right in front of you. That's why I've always loved doing more hacks related battles and scaling videos. All you ding dongs, if you really thought I'd say Othinus wins, get a reality check, bro. I love Fate, I love Riptoaru, I love Jean d'Arc Alter. And with that, I will catch you guys later. Peace.